Now at 10, it's election night in the 4 states. We have the latest results of some of the biggest issues on the ballot, from tax issues to the future of Joplin's Memorial Hall. Plus, how a local school is returning to a pre-pandemic normal by bringing back school activities.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
You have spoken and your votes are in. This is KOAM News at 10. Voters in Missouri and Oklahoma today decided a number of local tax proposals and races, and we begin with a big one. The $30 million proposal to renovate and improve Joplin's Memorial Hall has failed. It needed 4-7 support. It failed to get even a simple majority in either Jasper or Newton County. Total vote was 2,124 yes, 2,588 no. KOAM's Chris Warner is at the Jasper County Courthouse in Carthage, joins us now with more.
Well, of course, down here at the Jasper County Courthouse, some city officials were on hand for the Jasper County numbers and left disappointed that it did not pass. That $30 million bond issue would have made necessary renovations to the Memorial Hall, as well as an addition to include more community space. Now, over the past year, we've brought you a number of stories about Memorial Hall and the number of citizens that wanted to see it saved. There's also been concern, though, about parking issues from business owners, especially now that the original Memorial Hall parking lot is being redeveloped. However, city officials and officials with Connect Culture said there'd be more than ample parking. Now, we did speak with one woman earlier this evening who said that she felt that that money could be better spent elsewhere. Meanwhile, some veterans organizations that we spoke to over the past year said that they felt that Memorial Hall is an important part of Joplin's past and future and wanted to see the building preserved. Now, I did reach out to Mayor Ryan Stanley earlier this evening, and he said that there is no plan B. There's no contingency for this failing. What will happen from here is, first, the newly elected council will be seated and oriented, and then this matter will come back up before council, and council will make an ultimate decision on what happens next for the future of Memorial Hall. Reporting live from the Jasper County Courthouse in Carthage, I'm Chris Warner for KOAM News.
Chris, thanks. An $11 million school bond in Webb City would fund new classrooms, a virtual learning lab, theater renovations, and new turf area at the middle school. This issue passes overwhelmingly. Storm shelters were the focus of a question for the McDonald County R1 school district. It also passes by a wide margin. More than $21 million will go for new storm shelters at Anderson Middle School, Knoll Elementary, Rocky Comfort Elementary, and Pineville Primary. The Southwest School District sought $2 million for a trap range, baseball field, and a softball field. This proposal also passes by a wide margin. In Oklahoma, the Quapaw School District asked for $3.5 million to repair and remodel school buildings. This one passes with 60% of the vote. Staying in Oklahoma, voters in Commerce rejected a proposal for an additional 2% sales tax with proceeds to fund capital expenditures in the city. A number of communities today voted on use taxes, that is, internet sales taxes. Some fire protection districts and townships also decided tax issues. We hope to have some of those numbers for you shortly. You can also find results from local government and school board races at KOAMnewsnow.com. Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Tuesday for us today. Temperatures were great. We warmed up nicely, a little bit on the windy side, but 78. We started at 53, normal high 67 for this time of the year. And we have been watching at least a few scattered thunderstorms throughout the evening hours, northern counties, and then into our eastern counties. And then you can see some showers popping up in our northwestern counties at this point in time. But most of us have actually stayed dry. We are going to get some scattered showers in here, especially after midnight. Any thunderstorms exiting our eastern counties. So let's go through time. A lot of clouds. We will get a few random little showers trying to pop in and out at times, especially after midnight, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Good news here is these are all gone by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. We are going to see our temperatures a little bit cooler over the next couple days, so we're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
See you then. A Joplin man pleads guilty to killing 2 men in 2020. Authorities say Raymond Barrios shot and killed 2 men, Toa Lee from Joplin and Chong Jiang from Dunaway, during a fight over an iPad. Barrios pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder, first-degree assault, and armed criminal action. A judge sentenced Barrios to life in prison. A judge in McDonald County, Missouri sentences a Neosho man to prison for tampering with a victim in a felony prosecution. In June of 2021, 46-year-old John Hamilton Jr. was in custody in the Newton County Jail for a domestic assault charge. Authorities say he called the victim in that case and offered them $500 to drop the charges. That call was recorded. Hamilton was charged with tampering. Today, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison for that charge. Missouri Southern will not be renewing the positions of 31 staff and non-tenured faculty members, citing a decrease in enrollment. The school says it had to make adjustments to address the issue. MSSU President Dean Van Galen says they've reduced their administration and have not filled some of their other open positions. One professor who was part of the layoff says he found out he was being let go in February.
It wasn't about the job that I was doing here. I had a good rapport with students, I had a good rapport with other faculty. My classes were usually pretty well received. It was really just due to budget concerns. They just needed to make room in the budget. So unfortunately, I fell on that list.
Missouri Southern's experienced a decline in enrollment for several consecutive years. As local communities drop COVID restrictions and move back to the pre-pandemic normal, schools are beginning to do the same. KOIM's Jalen Banks has more.
It seems like yesterday students in the area were all having to go through school with COVID protocols. Fast forward to April 2022 and things are starting to go back to normal. This also means that students can start going back on field trips and other school activities, things that they missed out on the last 2 years.
COVID caused us to do many things we didn't want to do and lose a lot of activities we wanted to do. And going on field trips is one of those things. We missed it, our kids missed it, and this is now an opportunity for us to get the kids back in the community, back to different activities that they need to learn, have experiences.
Along with field trips and other out-of-school activities, in-school activities are starting back up as well. Guests coming in and out of the school were limited, but now parents are back in the building, helping and participating, something that has been missing since the start of the pandemic.
One thing we lost with COVID was the activities we had with our parents, that connection, and we've already had great support once we open the doors. Our evening activities are just exploding with people, daily things that parents come in and help. It's been fantastic.
This week, Mark Twain Elementary had a field trip, and the 6th grade center is hosting an in-school family activity, both for the first time in 2 years. In Carthage, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Coming up, Oklahoma legislators give final approval to a bill that would make abortions there a felony. Plus, how an aluminum shortage is impacting other industries. The Oklahoma House has given final legislative approval to a bill that would make performing an abortion a felony. The bill passed today with very little discussion and no debate. Now heads to Governor Kevin Stitt, who has indicated he will sign it. The bill makes it a felony to perform an abortion with penalties of up to 10 years in prison and a $100,000 fine. The bill makes an exception only for an abortion performed to save the life of the mother. Similar bills approved by the Oklahoma legislature in recent years have been stopped by the courts as unconstitutional. A Missouri judge today dismissed criminal charges against 3 men who were prosecuted after an accident involving duck boats on Table Rock Lake killed 17 people in 2018. The boats sank during a storm over the lake, trapping and killing most of those on board. The judge in the case said today, while the 3 men charged were aware of the storm, there was no evidence they knew about its gust front and couldn't be held liable. The families of the victims called the decision disappointing. Missouri's Attorney General is considering refiling charges. Shortages continue to plague grocery stores, and now the latest victims appear to be cat food and canned beer. That's because aluminum is in short supply, right as demand is increasing. Reporter Jen Sullivan has a look at what's behind this latest commodity challenge and how companies are taking action to combat the supply issues.
Aluminum is in short supply, and that's leading to shortages in both the cat food aisle and at your local brewery.
We are actually having aluminum demand spikes within the United States and around the world.
Say Ken Allschool, assistant professor of supply chain management from the University of South Florida, says we can blame labor shortages, the pandemic, and the ongoing supply chain crisis. Production isn't meeting up with demand, and China's pollution crackdown is driving aluminum manufacturing even further.
Basically, decrease the production by approximately 10 to 20% worldwide.
Allschool says pet adoptions soared during the pandemic and are still strong, raising that demand for cat food. And as some retailers take measures to eliminate aluminum packaging, aluminum isn't the only problem cat food sellers are dealing with.
We don't have enough meat products that go into that cat food. And the main reason really for this is our workforce.
The aluminum shortage and price increases are also having a major impact on small breweries across the country. Demand for aluminum can products skyrocketed during the pandemic as alcohol consumption rose and breweries shifted to to-go models.
Pretty much everything has gotten more expensive, most notably our packaging. So the aluminum cans and lids and everything, really everything we use connected to the canning of the product.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
General Motors and Honda are joining forces to produce a series of affordable electric vehicles, they say. The automakers hope to start producing the new cars around the world in 2027. The cars will use GM's Ultium battery technology. No word yet on how much new vehicles will cost. The United Nations is sounding the alarm on global warming. The third and final installment of the 6th UN Intergovernmental Panel's Climate Change Report says the world is heading toward an environmental disaster. The UN Secretary General says the report indicates the global temperature could surpass 3 Celsius degrees warmer than pre-industrial levels by the end of the century. That's more than double the 1.5 degree threshold scientists warn could lead to disastrous and irreversible impacts. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Kansas Jayhawks on their historic national championship win.
Plus, our temperatures are going to cool down just a bit over the next couple days. We're going to look at that coming up.
Gerard Medical.
Definitely a nice Tuesday for us today. Temperature is great, upper 70s to near 80 degrees, a little bit on the breezy side, and it is going to stay windy over the next couple days. Temperatures, they're going to cool down just a little bit. It's okay right now. We look pretty good outside. Indigo Sky Casino and Resorts. If we get that pulled full screen here, there we go. It looks pretty good across the region as we have partly cloudy skies, but temperatures are still pretty good. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's look at our temps over the past 36 hours. Yesterday, mid-60s. We dropped back mid-40s, but look at the warm-up for us today as everybody went into the upper 70s during the afternoon. Here's our cold front. You can see it really extending from Grand Lake, Neosho to Monette. And along that front, we've had some scattered little thunderstorms throughout the evening hours, but most of us have been fine. It's not cold air behind it, it's cooler air, which is going to work in as we go through the next couple days. But the winds are also picking up on the back side of the front, the north side of the cold front. So it's going to stay windy for us tonight. We'll have northerly winds at about 10 to 20. 7th and Rangeline outside sitting at 64, north winds at about 10 to 15, humidity at 72%. You can see those scattered thunderstorms a little bit earlier for us this evening, mainly northern counties, and then again into our eastern counties. But right now we look okay. Ahead of the front, we're still getting a few isolated thunderstorms through parts of Delaware County, south side of Grand Lake, and then kind of hit and miss all the way back toward Branson. Besides that, everybody is dry. Now on the back side, you can see these showers, which have been increasing to our north. A few of these are going to skirt in after midnight, but again, not a big deal, just some light showers. But look at this system. It extends from Chicago back to about Bozeman, Montana. So it's covering a lot of real estate. It's moving very slow, and it's going to take its time kind of passing by the next couple days. When we get on the back side here, that's going to pull in some cooler air by Thursday into Friday. All right, tonight's okay, just some hit and miss little showers. Any showers we do have out there, they'll be gone by morning. We'll start the day with some clouds, sunshine by the afternoon, and really a pretty good Wednesday. Temperatures are going to go into the mid-60s, close to where we should be. 44 to start, 58 by noon, high temp is 63. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies, a little bit cooler. We drop back into the lower 40s, maybe even upper 30s in spots, and then a lot more clouds on Thursday. With this, we could see a few sprinkles, maybe a random shower. Again, not a big deal, but we're going to hold into the 50s for highs on Thursday and then on Friday. But it gets better by the weekend. We start to rebound into the 60s, 70s by Sunday, late Sunday into Monday. Thunderstorm chances increase, and this will give us a severe threat next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So something we want to watch at least 2 of those days. We're going to have some strong storms. 63 tomorrow, 55 on Thursday, 53 on Friday. Look at the weekend, another, in general, pretty good weekend because any storms that come in won't be until late Sunday. So this will be our 4th weekend in a row that we've gotten really nice conditions.
We've been really fortunate in that regard because it's not like it's been nice the whole time, but it coincides with the weekend.
I keep bringing it up because we're going to get a bad one here at some point.
I know. Thanks, Doug. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly today issued a state of disaster emergency in the state because of the potential for wildfires in the coming days. The order allows state agencies to prepare firefighting equipment and manpower in areas considered to be at the highest risk. It'll remain in place for the next 6 days as much of the state deals with dry conditions and high winds. Still ahead, Missouri Southern announces its next men's basketball coach, and Pitt State baseball aims to continue its home dominance against Arkansas Tech. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Missouri Southern men's basketball has found its next head coach. The school announced today that Sam McMahon will be the new leader of the program. Now, McMahon, definitely not a stranger to Missouri Southern. He actually spent 6 years as an assistant under former head coach Jeff Boschee from 2014 to 2020. In those 6 seasons, the Lions went 124-60, even made a Sweet 16 in 2019. McMahon has spent the last 2 seasons as an assistant at Division I Southeast Missouri State. The school will officially introduce McMahon at a press conference tomorrow afternoon. The Kansas Jayhawks are once again back on top of the college basketball world. The Jayhawks rallied to beat North Carolina last night 72-69 to claim the Division I men's basketball national championship. Kansas completed the biggest comeback in national championship history Monday. They were down 16 at one point in the first half. They were down 15 at the break. But they outscored Carolina 47-29 in the final 20 minutes to claim their first title since 2008. And for head coach Bill Self, it's his second title at Kansas, the most of any coach in program history.
I don't know that I've ever had a team flip the script like we have probably in the NCAA tournament, whether it be Miami in the Elite Eight or whether it be this game. But you know, be special to win regardless. But to win when your team had to fight and come back the way they did and show that much grit makes this one off the charts. I thought this would be good, and this is a heck of a lot better than I thought it would be.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are at home today for a non-conference game against Arkansas Tech. Now, coming in today, the Gorillas are 20-11 overall, including 15-5 in MIAA league play. Now, today's game, actually game 8 of an 11-game homestand for Pittsburgh State. Second inning, bases loaded for Caden Fowler. He lifts one opposite field. One hops the fence for a ground rule double that scores 2, including Ron Gertis. Gorillas go up 2-0. Fowler drives in 3. Later, same inning, Cruz Aranda to left. That scores Mason Hartman and Fowler. Pitt State takes a 4-0 lead. Arkansas Tech answers in the third. Sam Stevenson to the gap and left all the way to the wall. 2 RBI triple for Stevenson. But later in the inning, check this out. Little defense from the Gorillas. Mason Hartman over there at second. Nice backhand, great slide, great throw for the out. Garrett McGowan hits a grand slam in the 7th. Pitt State tops Arkansas Tech 14-8. Missouri Southern baseball also in action today with a non-conference matchup against Missouri S&T. Southern rolls tonight 16-7. Tragan Parker goes 3 for 5 with 2 doubles, a home run, and 4 RBIs. The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons are on the field today on the road against Galena. Pittsburgh has played just once so far this spring, a 4-1 loss against Mount Vernon. The Purple Dragons try to get win number 1 today against the Bulldogs. Good start out there in the circle for Galena's Maddie Cole. Strike out there in the top of the first. The bottom of the first, Bulldogs strike first. Gracie Ryan shoots it to right. Blaze McNeamer comes home from third. Home team up 1-0. On the other side, Rory Hunziker started mowing batters down. She finished with 10 strikeouts. Held Galena down until the Pittsburgh offense got going. The Dragons would score 4 in the 6th, going on to top Galena 4-3. Finally, day 2 of pool play, the Bill O'Dell tournament in Carthage. First up, it's Nevada taking on Mount Vernon. It's Nevada rolling in that one 12-2. Then in the nightcap, it's Monette over Seneca 9-5. Pool play continues tomorrow with Carthage facing Monette and Carl Junction hitting the field against Mount Vernon. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Stephen Franklin served in the U.S. Navy from 1964 to 68. The Iola, Kansas native was stationed in Vietnam. Now we salute Stephen Franklin, our four-state hero. The weather tomorrow. Temperature's looking nice.
Yeah, we'll get the sunshine back out by the afternoon hours. Temps pretty good, 63 tomorrow. Obviously cooler than what we have today.
You lost your mind.
I did.
I'll share mine.
I think it fell right off. And then 55 on Thursday, 53 on Friday. Weekend though, looking pretty good.
All right. Now I'll take my mic back.
Yeah,
You're
mine's
wearing
still
yours?
there. Yeah, I got nervous
Okay.
after that. Yes.
Yeah.
Sam McMahon introductory press conference at Missouri Southern is at 3 tomorrow afternoon, so we'll have that right here tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can find all of tonight's election results at KOAMNewsNow.com. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Salon service is provided by the